Hi everyone, and welcome to the Scorpio January 2023 weekly illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So hi everyone and welcome. Thank you so much for everyone who is returning. Can't tell you how much it means to me that you continue to support my channel and that hopefully you're getting something of use out of these readings. And thank you for everyone who is choosing to sit and listen to the reading today. So I am going to go ahead and start off this reading by pulling some cards to take a look at your internal energy. We'll look at what's going on around you, and then we'll dive deeper into the message to see really what's coming up for you this week. What are the challenges, the potential blocks, and then areas of opportunity for you. So Scorpio, let's see. What are you bringing into this week? I hope it's all started off with a bang for you guys. We had Mars finally stationed direct last week. Hallelujah. And we are about to have Mercury stationed direct. So we have a big opportunity with this new moon cycle on the 21st coming up to really be able to kind of all of us just have that forward momentum coming through. And I love for you guys, you have the Ace of Cups. This is the energy you're bringing to the table. It's just love, unconditional love. That is the beauty of the Ace of Cups. It's a reconnection to who you are. All the needs, hopes, dreams that fill that cup that make you truly unique. And that's a little too many. We'll see if we can get just a few less there for what's going on around you guys. But this is a very refreshing card to have in this internal energy for yourself. It's a card of renewal. And again, a reconnection to yourself and what I like to call just universal love. It's wonderful. So let's go ahead here and see, what does Scorpio need to know about what's going on around them this week? We have Death, we have King of Pentacles, and we have the Seven of Cups. So very interesting. For some of you, I'll go here and we'll get into this part in just a second. Death, King of Pentacles, and Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups can be a card where we're kind of in a place of illusion, where there seems to be a lot of options, and we're having a hard time figuring out which one to choose because we're not sure if maybe this one will be more fulfilling to us, or what if we choose that one and we're wrong and it was actually that option. With Death and the King of Pentacles, there is the opportunity, I think, for many of you to either release, if the King of Pentacles happens to be you, there's a really nice chance to release your tie to the physical. Maybe you've had a long time focus on building something. You've had a long time focus on just the tangible, like I need to have more things, because that's what the King of Pentacles speaks to. It can also be too where if this is just a general energy around you, this could be where you've kind of felt maybe for some time in this kind of fog of like, I have all of this real world practical ability, because that's who the King of Pentacles is. He's someone who has mastered achieving and manifesting in the physical. This would be like the expert business owner who's maybe had 3 prior successful businesses. This is the individual who comes in and can really do an overhaul, in a workplace because they really understand, the inner workings of what's going on. This can also be someone who really has mastered maybe being a homekeeper, someone who understands how all the pieces work together and they can really know how to save, know how to handle money, know how to prioritize. It's that mastery. But yet with Death coming in, there's a release. And it's the release of, I think for many of you, not knowing where your skill set fits. Because that's what the King of Pentacles and the illusion. This can also be too where there's an illusion around a kind of maybe boss type figure in your life, maybe a father figure, or maybe someone who maybe was like a mentor or a manager or somewhere like this. This could be like where someone's kind of been like stringing you along for a long time, where they're like, oh, well, don't worry, you didn't get this promotion, but there's 20 more other promotions next year. So we'll put you on there. Or Again, this is just you kind of sitting with all of your knowledge saying, well, I could do this and I could do that. I'm not quite sure where my skill set actually fits. And there's somehow in this week, there's the death of this, whether it's either the death of the illusion of someone stringing you along that something's going to get better, or the death of you not knowing where your skill set fits and not knowing where to place yourself in a way that's going to bring you emotional fulfillment. Now we're going to take a look here. We're going from the past up to the present. The past, Queen of Cups. This is, for many of you, there's this kind of maternal energy coming through here with the Queen of Cups. There's this unconditional, she is the symbol of unconditional love. She holds the Ace of Cups, and she knows the power and the importance of what's in her cup. And she holds it sacred. And she really sits there and she looks at it, as you can see her doing, and she really is honoring that. It's a very Cancerian energy. It's very nurturing. But I think for many of you, with the Four of Cups coming in directly after this, there was this kind of almost turning your back on your own cup, on the own beauty of who you are and the needs you have that need to be met, the dreams that are contained in here. Because the Four of Cups speaks to just kind of a basic level of either disenchantment with your life, just kind of a malaise, you're just not happy with what you have. But what's interesting in this picture is that the individual is looking at 3 cups in front of him. And he's looking at everything outside of himself that is not fulfilling to him. This could be looking at our job. This could be looking at our relationship. This could be looking at our home life. And we're like, blah, nothing. I'm not connecting to anything. And it's because he's forgotten about his cup, which is right here. The spirit putting out the little Monty Python hand and saying, here's your cup. Remember your hopes, your dreams, your needs, your desires, all the things that are going to connect you to your life experience, not waiting for something external to you to connect you to your life experience. And I think for many of you, you've realized, you've remembered, you've turned around and seen that cup and you're like, oh yeah, it's me. I have to make myself happy. But in order for me to make myself happy, I have to know what has not been being met for me in my life that I need now to start to make that happen. Maybe I need to have more closer connections with people. Maybe I need a more fulfilling career path. Maybe I need to start to change the dynamics in my home life. And with this card, now this is an interesting card. In this deck, this is a card unique to this deck. It's a beautiful card. And actually, when you read the little book that comes with it, this illustration is actually from it depicts a scene from a book. And it is interesting that this comes forward. I'm just holding that kind of energy. I always look at this energy as getting kind of to that place of 2 things: going back in time to a really loving place, or maybe you had someone like this, maternal influence, this grandmother, someone who was wise, someone who really loved you unconditionally, or showed you what it was like to really love that best part of yourself, the inner child within you, where there was a safety and a security in who you were. And it's kind of getting back to that and realizing maybe how much you need to provide that now for yourself, or where that has been missing for a long time. This can also be, for me as a personal reader, this card for me speaks to the 10 of Pentacles, but taking it kind of almost more to a more emotional level of the 10 of Pentacles. Because the 10 of Pentacles speaks to what we want to leave behind as our ultimate legacy. What do we want to create in our physical experience that really feels like is authentic to us, and that we get to leave this kind of mark on the world when we leave it. And this takes it to that emotional level of, if you could be sitting in your old age and telling others about the story of your life, how would you want to describe it? What would you want to tell others that you did in your life and that you love, and that what did you actually manifest the dreams you had? It's a card of kind of realizing, I don't want to have those regrets. So what is that story that I want to tell, and how do I start today writing that first chapter? And that's what's going to finally just put an end to this because it's no more illusion. It's getting just very clear. There's only one cup in here that is his, and it's the one that he's holding. It's not out there. None of these cups are going to pour into his to fill it. This cup is filled from the love that the divine has for you. Okay. And just you being you. So remember that, Scorpio. You don't have to be anyone else except for yourself. That's why Spirit comes in and is like, remember your cup. Don't take those other cups. Those aren't your cups. Your cup is right here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some cards here to see what is the block or the challenge you're facing this week, and then where's the opportunity. I can see a lot of opportunity here with this energy being kind of swept away. Death is a beautiful energy because it's finite. There's a hard stop. That now it's kind of like, okay, well, now that the illusion is gone, gosh, yeah, what's my story? Let's start from page 1. And Queen of Pentacles comes in. So that's your main point of challenge this week, your block. The Queen of Pentacles is knowing where you want to put your time and energy, kind of dedicate yourself. It's a very slow moving, also very nurturing energy of, I'm just going to love this into existence. I'm going to know that, change doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. But it's also that knowledge of I have to put that time and energy into something. And that can kind of be scary. When we want to start to really nurture something in the physical, that means that we might have to make sacrifices. That means that we might have to change some aspect of what we do that maybe isn't nurturing to us. Now we have the Three of Cups coming in right after that. And I think for some of you, you're kind of blocking yourself from the support that wants to come in. There could also be an energy, possibly some wounding around, because we have the Three of Cups kind of mirrored up here and the Three of Cups down here. Maybe there's a little bit of wounding around not feeling like you're supported, that you don't have these people to kind of celebrate with and share your cup because no one really honors your cup. Or maybe you've tried to share it in the past and it was kind of to like a negative effect. This can be where a friend group doesn't support who you are when you openly, vulnerably share yourself, or a partner doesn't, or a workplace doesn't. I mean, this doesn't have to be just around love or partnership in that level. This could be where maybe you've been constantly trying to share yourself in a work environment and everybody was kind of like, you're the one that doesn't get invited to the happy hour after work, or you're the one that doesn't get invited to the bigwig meeting. And so there is something here around, I think, a little bit of this having to realize that it's time for you to just own what you want to build, and the support will come in after you get clear, because what's at the heart of your reading is the Three of Pentacles. I love when this card comes in this placement because it really speaks to Spirit is asking you to look a little further down the road and say, well, what do you want to build? And ultimately, if you could have others there to build it with you, who would those people be? It's also a card too of recognition where others might see your skill set and say, you know what? You've been nurturing this skill set, because that's what the Queen of Pentacles is as well. It's honoring that seed that you have that is your physical talents. So this could be maybe where you're really just realizing, gosh, what I bring to the table is I'm really great at some aspect, in this career path. I'm wonderful managing others. I've led teams to great success, and I'm just going to really, maybe now I'm going to start to take a few, upper management classes. I'm going to kind of really focus on this is what I want to do because I love being a mentor. I love leading. I love helping others to achieve goals. And that's what I'm going to focus on. Or this could be in love. And you're like, I'm going to really just focus on getting my home life all in order, loving where I live, loving who I live with. And ultimately, I hope that it will, bring in the right partner for me down the line. And what this is saying is that the more that you do that, the more that you honor that pentacle, that part of yourself that you've mastered in a way, and that you can continue to grow from, that this is that skill set that maybe the next job you get, you'll level up. Or this is the way that you're going to actually do home improvements or something along those lines, that there's a chance for others to see that and say, yeah, wow, you really are proficient in that area. You really have been nurturing that part of yourself. And we'd love to have you come join our team. So this is either you getting into a place where you want to join a team with others, or where others will really be able to see your skill set and want you to join theirs. Now, with Judgment on the other side, woo, that's a massive change coming in. We have the Moon as your final point of challenge, clarified by the Prince of Pentacles, which is technically the Knight of Pentacles in this deck, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so with the Judgment coming in right after the Three of Pentacles, this is, yeah, there's that change. It's almost like once you show yourself, okay, what is this part of myself I want to nurture? What is this part of myself I'm taking out? When I look at my cup, what makes me feel emotionally connected through what I know I'm physically able to do? This could be like really getting clear again on a skill set that you have. I love to do this. I am good at this. I want to grow more of this in my life. And why? Because I have a vision for it in the future. I would like to do this. I would like to build this. And therein, it's like, there comes the change. You're called up as the new version of yourself. And this can be hard because it means you have to leave an old version of yourself behind. But it's also a beautiful chance to be called up as this new, more powerful version of yourself. It's a true moment of transformation. And it's one where you might hear the call suddenly to maybe a whole new career path you weren't expecting, or you might hear because that's what the Judgment card speaks to as well. You hear the call. And this could be where someone comes in and points the way towards something it never even occurred to you, and suddenly your whole life changes. So yeah, this could be a big week for many of you. So we have the Moon as your last point of challenge, which is always a challenge in that the Moon speaks to a lack of clarity. The way is unclear. It's only lit by the Moon. So it's kind of shadowy and can be scary because we're being called up out of a comfort zone to go on a new journey, to start that first chapter of the book of our life. And with the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, Prince of Pentacles coming in, Eight of Cups, and Four of Pentacles, this is saying you guys have worked really steadily at something. The Knight of Pentacles is methodical. He sees a vision for the future, and he kind of just puts one step in front and just kind of gets the work done. But the Eight of Cups said, unfortunately, even with all that time and energy and dedicated work, it's not fulfilling to you. Whatever that was, whatever that led to, whether it was, a failed relationship, whether it was a community, a friend group that just never came to be, whether it's a work, environment that just never was supportive of what you were trying to build. It's saying it was time to leave. Eight of Cups. It's time to walk away. Four of Pentacles comes in and it's going to show you where you've been holding yourself back. That's what the Four of Pentacles speaks to. It says you've been holding back a part of your own power to manifest in the physical for a long time. And it starts with with an actual tangible investment, where maybe you have been sitting there and saying, like, I know I need to leave, and I know I need to, maybe start putting my resumes out there, or I need to start gaining more experience because I just can't do this anymore. Or I need to leave this relationship, but I'm not willing to, start looking at moving out. And this is saying you're going to see, I think, just in the leaving of whatever this was, even though the way is unclear, how much you've been holding yourself back. Not that you've been held back by others. Again, this is really turning that perspective back to yourself of, I've been the one to deny my needs, wants, hopes, and desires. I've let others do that to me. And I need to stand firm now in honoring my cup. And I'm going to go out there without this lack of illusion and say, no, I'm powerful. I know what I can manifest in the physical. And I'm not going to stop myself anymore from doing that for myself. Okay, so I'm going to pull some clarifiers here for the Queen of Pentacles. So a good kind of motto or mantra to keep in mind this week, Scorpio, as you move through it, is, if I could have the first line in my book, like this is the book that everybody's going to read about your biography someday, what would that first line be? What are you going to write that first line about this week? And what would that book ultimately be about? Yeah, Ace of Wands and Seven of Wands. Yeah, you have every right to defend your action to support your reconnection to source energy. Ace of Wands is that inspiration. It's that aha, here's me again. Here's my eternal flame. Here's my wand, my magic wand that I was supposed to go through life passionately using. And there's Seven of Swords, or Seven of Wands is saying, I'm going to defend this. I'm going to defend taking action now from this place. And this is what I'm going to nurture in the physical. Okay, Three of Cups. We have Queen of Swords and Judgment. Yeah, there's something definitely here with the Queen of Swords coming in where there's tough lessons that have come through others and the support of others in your life. But yet, what I think many of you don't understand, and what's coming through here with Judgment, clarifying this card, is what you went through and maybe feeling like an outsider, or feeling like at certain times you weren't supported by friends, family, coworkers, that the reality of it is it made you who you are today. It made you stronger, and that's the Queen of Swords coming in. It made you stronger. You got through it. You kept going. And now you know that the real reason why perhaps you got to this place where, others were not supportive of you is because you weren't supporting yourself. And that's a big thing. We really have to get to that place of realization that we always have to honor ourselves to a certain extent, because we are living only our life. We may share our life paths with other people, but ultimately only we can live our life. Only we can fulfill the needs that we hold in our cup, the dreams that we hold in our cup. We can't fulfill that for others, and they can't fulfill it for us. So yeah, with Eight of Swords, you guys have been very blocked in seeing the future vision for yourself. You've been feeling like you can't get there, you can't build. The Emperor coming in, it says, it's time to step up into a place of authority. You're the emperor. You tell others what you want to build, and it's time to get to that place. And we have the Fountain. I love this. This actually just came up for Taurus as well. And I do like to the way I record my videos is I record the two opposing signs on the Zodiac wheel. So Scorpio, your natural, what would be called in astrology, your natural seventh is Taurus. And I always find for myself, and among other people that I know, there tends to be a lot of kind of soul relationships between people who are naturally a seventh, who have a strong placement in either Scorpio or Taurus or whatever sign you're in your opposing sign on the Zodiac wheel. And so you're really, I think both of you, I always find that the messages come through very similarly because you tend to go through similar things, but just from a different perspective. And often when you look at your opposing signs message, you might get a different perspective on what you're going through. And it's kind of like the aha, like, oh wait, I missed that. Okay. But you have a very empowering message. They did too. This one is a little different. This one is more really focusing on your own power, your own ability to make for yourself what you want. And I think maybe for some of you, you've been disempowered. You allowed yourself to be placed in a position of disempowerment. And with the Fountain coming in, this card is unique to this deck. And it speaks to tapping into that universal place of knowledge, creativity, that kind of 0 point field where anything and everything is possible. And I think for many of you, there's this beautiful tie to this Judgment card of saying, oh my gosh, what can't you do for yourself? Like if you want to write that book about yourself, well, what do you want to write in it? Do you want to literally become well known for something? Do you want to be seen as a world traveler? Do you want to be seen as the person who had the beautiful home and family? Do you want to be famous for artistic works? It says it's time for you. You're being called up. You're hearing the call to something that is almost beyond explanation in a way. Okay, now I'm going to pull a couple clarifiers for the moon here at the end, just to see what else wants to come out before we move into the final card for the reading. But yeah, you're really being asked to honor yourself, love yourself, and say, this is me, and I'm going for it. And yeah, we have so Four of Cups again, double confirmation. I think for many of you, again, there's that worry. But I wasn't supported, but it has been so just kind of eh. And this is saying, as long as you keep your eye on your cup, that's all you need. That's all you need for this next phase. The more we meet our needs, the more, that's how we emotionally connect to life. And that's what cups represent, our connection, our emotional and spiritual connection to our experience. And when you think about it, We don't emotionally connect to life if we're not actually doing things that we love, if we're not actually doing things that are important to us. So if every day you're going to a job you can't stand, or every day you're sharing a life with a partner who holds nothing in common with you, then you're not emotionally connecting to that. There's no feeling of, ooh, this gets me excited. This makes me feel loved. This makes me feel like I want to continue to do this. Instead, you end up blocking yourself emotionally because you try to almost get to that place of, well, all there are negative feelings around this, or no feelings at all, and I don't want to be stuck in that place. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands that came up. Yeah, you're exhausted. It's been a long road here. This is a feeling of the weary, wounded warrior who's like, ugh, I just can't. I just can't. I have done so much. I'm exhausted. I'm burned out. And this is saying, you are, but once you get you're freeing yourself here. It was a long road to get here. It was a long road to get here. But now you have the opportunity to settle and get very clear as to what you want to build. I think for many of you, it was kind of the reverse. You were kind of just going with the flow. And now it's like you get the beautiful chance to kind of go through the wormhole, the fountain here, and come back to, wait a second, it's not about just like going with the flow, what comes in. What do I actually want to build? This is my life. This is me and what I love. This is the book of my life that I'm writing every day with what I do. And what do I actually want to be in there? I wasn't given a book that said I have to do this. I'm writing that book every day. We have the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck up here. Beautiful. It's a change in how you commit yourself. It's a change in your beliefs, what you believe you're capable of. And it's also a change in what you choose to subscribe to. And I don't mean social media wise. I mean a change in what rules do you follow. It doesn't matter if your family has said for, generations, you have to be a doctor or you have to get married and have 4 kids to be accepted by us. It doesn't matter. The choice of what we choose to follow is ours alone. So really keep that in mind. There's a chance to really break boundaries on what you believe you're capable of, but also break boundaries in what you've chosen to follow that might have been placed on you by others. Even by true external, with the 3 of Cups coming in, I do feel like these are people who are close to you. This might have been friend groups who told you that you weren't good enough, or that you felt like you had to kind of keep up with the Joneses. Like, if I don't, all my friends are getting married, so I should get married, and I'm not married, so I'm not happy. But maybe that's not what actually would make you happy. Maybe having a fulfilling career, or traveling around the world, or doing some amazing artistic work or something along those lines, that's more fulfilling. So it's keeping in mind, I think, where possibly groups of people have led you to a place of just a general sense of, I'm not happy with my life, when in reality it's because you haven't actually been kind of going to the beat of your own drum. That's why I love the image of the Emperor in this card. He's kind of shaken off the box. He's like, this is way too small. This doesn't work. I'm finding a new way. He's literally thinking outside the box, realizing he doesn't have to be within those confines anymore. Okay, so we have Wombat Spirit. Be at home, number 68. I love this. Yeah, be at home with who you are and what you want for yourself. Number 68, this breaks down to the number 14, further breaking down to the number 5. The number 14 and the number 5 are both the energy of change. The number 14 for me is the energy of freedom through change, which I love. But it's a change here in your perspective of either you're trapped because what you want to build doesn't equate to what others tell you should want to build, or you free yourself to build it because it's what fits your story. All right, Scorpio, I will leave it here. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below. And if I don't see you there, I will see you all next week for your next illumination reading. Bye, Scorpio.